Hi there, welcome to my channel. The people at Kuhaimi sent over this capture card for a review and test, and it surprisingly exceeded my expectations. I'd like to be as transparent as possible with these unboxings, and I've always been really skeptical towards off-brand capture cards. They usually over-advertise and under-deliver, but this capture card actually delivers. Bear in mind though that I can't upload anything past 1080 60 frames per second on YouTube, so I can't truly show a 4K review of this item based off my computer limitations and upload speeds and all of that fun stuff. Anyway, this capture card is sold on Amazon for $109.99, and as of the upload date of this video, there is a 10% off coupon on the listing. Short description though, this does have a 4K 60 pass-through with ultra low latency, and it can record at 4K with up to 30 frames, and live streams can handle up to 4K with 30 frames as well too, but it's preferred that you max it out at 1080 with 120 frames. As mentioned earlier, for the sake of my YouTube settings, this video will be uploaded at 1080p 60. Okay, so with that out of the way, it's pretty much plug and play. There isn't any capture software, so they recommend using OBS or Slobs. In this case, I'll be using Slobs or Streamlabs OBS, and here are some instructions and some specifications and just a quick start guide on how to get everything started. Feel free to pause here if you're interested in learning more about that little procedure of how to get this thing up and going. But for me, pretty much it was plug and play. So we're going to get to that portion after we take a good look at the capture card. And the capture card itself is so futuristic looking. It is pretty light though, it's not too heavy. It's only about 12.6 ounces, so it's not too heavy. There's a HDMI in, HDMI out. The bottom is really aggressive looking. It looks like my Dell gaming laptop. That's gonna be a perfect match if I ever put them together over there. It does connect via USB-C, and there is a headphone port and a microphone port, so if you want alternative ways to listen and get your microphone plugged in, I think it's always great to have options. So if your microphone uses a 3.5mm connection, then you're good and you're set. Here is one last look. I love the design of this capture card. It's kind of aggressive, kind of futuristic. Doesn't look like your typical Elgato HD 60s Plus that I'm showing off right here. So let's get this all plugged into my computer. Rather than using their nice braided cable that I forgot to mention earlier, I'm just going to plug everything in that's already in my setup. So this blue cable goes to my PlayStation 5. We're going to plug that into HDMI in, and the other cable is just for a pass-through for HDMI out. So if you're using an external monitor or your TV just to watch your gameplay, then that's all you need that for. Otherwise, it's a non-factor for streaming or just playing via your main computer monitor. And USB-C, so that goes straight to my Mac. I'm using a Mac, by the way. This is compatible with Windows and Mac. I'm pretty sure it probably works better with Windows, but I make do with what I have. And here is a screen recording of everything on my slobs right now. So I'm gonna just add a whole new scene right here, and we're gonna call it the Kuhaimi capture card. And don't mind me, I sped this up by 2 times for the sake of the speed of this video. Otherwise, this would have been like a 20-minute video. So let's get that turned on. Oh, it's default to my actual face cam, but we have that set up over there. It just says HD USB 3.0 capture and so forth. I did set it to the 4K resolution setting because that is an option now because of the 4K on this capture card, but I will change that later on to 1080p because of YouTube, because it's just going to take away from some of the recording settings. So we have my PlayStation 5 plugged in and turned on. The capture card is reading it perfectly. There's no flaws there. We just need to add the audio source. For Slobs, it's done. You got to add a second audio source for your capture card. So we're just gonna call that the Kuhaimi audio, and everything should be making noises right about now as soon as I get that to monitor and output. And there it goes. I forgot to mention that this does have HDR capabilities as well too. So I don't want to take anything away from the capture card if people weren't able to figure that out. So whenever the PS5 identifies a new HDR connection, you have to do the settings all over again, and that just proves that this Kuhaimi capture card has HDR function and capabilities. So let me just set that real quick, and as I speed up this part of the video as well too, I'm gonna show off the screen and video output information settings. I set everything to automatic, so hopefully it all changes. Even the 120 Hertz output is set to automatic, but HDR is always on, and it's on right now. Otherwise, it wouldn't be highlighted. It would just be kind of like dimmed out. So video output information, we're at 3840 by 2160 at 60 Hertz. VRR is not supported over here. HDR is though, and then it shows some frequencies. But to pick a certain game to play, let's pick a brand new game. Let's play Modern Warfare 2 and see how it performs. And keep in mind, this will be at 1080p 60 frames, okay? 1080p 60 frames. So rather than kind of sabotaging myself and playing multiplayer, let's just go to the firing range and see how everything goes. I kind of want to show you all the sniping capabilities of this thing, so we'll see how everything looks when it's zoomed in, zoomed out. We'll switch to the handgun. We'll check for some screen tearing here and there, but so far everything looks good. The handgun is going well. We're just rapid firing right there, and let's see if we can get a long shot. There we go. Everything's really smooth. The zoom in, zoom out from the scope from the sniper rifle is going really smoothly. All the animations look great, no tearing, and everything's looking good so far. Let me just mess around. Maybe I can get a few shots in with the handgun. And lastly, let's just try to get one more shot here. And let's see if we can tear the screen a little bit by doing some jumping and maybe some spinning. My sensitivity is set to 7, so it's on the higher setting, I guess. But no tearing so far, and it looks good. It looks really good. So as I skip forward just a little tiny bit, there is one thing I want to show in my settings. Let's get that turned on. Press options, and then let's get to graphics. This actually does have a 120 hertz refresh rate, and I know that actually like depends on your whole setup, but my monitors and everything can handle 120 hertz. So it's just nice to know that that option can be turned on now compared to the other capture card that I was using earlier. So overall, this Kuhaimi 4K video capture card does what it says. It delivers a nice crisp view of your streams, of your recordings, whatever it may be. I do want to do a full 4K test one day when my setup allows it, but as of right now, for the price range, it's right there competitive with the Elgato HD60 S Plus, whatever it may be. This is a great alternative with amazing aesthetic appeal. So if you want your setup to just have that little pop and just having a cool capture card on your desk, the Kuhaimi 4K capture card might be for you. So once again, this is $109.99 on Amazon. Click that link down below if you're interested in checking that out for yourself. And if you like this video, feel free to check out these others that have popped up on the screen by now. And if you really liked hanging out with me today, please consider subscribing to be the first to know when I upload something new or go live on a stream. And for those of you who want to support the channel just a little bit more, click that join button down below to see my channel membies, and maybe you'll see your name at the beginning or end of my next video. I'll see you all soon. Please stay safe out there. Goodbye.